Okay. How would I relate the mind to the universe in the journey of self-discovery? Okay. Well, I think if I speak about it personally, it's probably the best way. That it's a bit like this. There are two possibilities. One is that this is a random, chaotic, unlawful creation. The other possibility is that it is a totally and completely lawful creation. And if we accept something that is lawful, like mathematics, all right, then 2 and 2 is 4 is the right answer. There are many, many, many wrong answers, and every wrong answer is a personal answer. So if you say 5, that's your answer, but 4 is not your answer, it's the answer. It's independent of you. So what we'll find ordinarily is that our minds are full of personal knowledge, like I don't like him, or I don't like her, or I don't like spaghetti, or whatever it is. But they're very personal things. A great way to use the mind is to fill it with universal knowledge. So I'll take a principle which, in the Christian teaching, would be accepted as universal. So love thy neighbor as thyself. You're not meant to exclude any neighbor, even if they have a Rottweiler that barks all night, right? Nobody is excluded, and it's not a principle, if it is a universal principle, it's not a principle that was valid 2,000 years ago, but it's not valid today. Or it's valid on a Monday, but not on a Wednesday. So if you can use your mind to really imbibe it with universal principles, then you will find that you'll end up with a universal mind, a mind with large, large knowledge, which will allow you to live a very big life. And Socrates, one of his famous statements was, an unexamined life is not worth living. And this is a very important issue, because when we're very young, before we have the ability to discriminate, lots of knowledge is poured into our minds. So we're told that the world is full of scarce resources. And we're told to compete in a very intense way. All sorts of ideas. We're told that make sure you live your life before you marry. All sorts of ideas are implanted in your mind. The real thing is to question them. You know, people think that more money will make me happier. But what's the proof of that? There are very, very wealthy people who are as miserable as sin. And there are people who are quite poor and who are very, very happy. So is there any relationship between happiness and money? And people sometimes, another idea which is not examined, is that people think that they can find happiness in a job. Well, they don't make jobs like that anymore. You know? There is no happiness in any job. It is impossible to be happy as an engineer or an accountant or a road sweeper, whatever. But what is possible is to find happiness in yourself and then express it in engineering or accountancy or road sweeping. So what is very, very useful is, you know, you're now not a child. You've accumulated a lot of knowledge into your mind. And some of it will be true and some of it won't be true. But it's all operating. And what would be very useful is to really examine the mind, without becoming an introvert, but to really examine it. And that which is not productive of happiness, you discard. And that which is productive of happiness, you utilize and you develop and expand. And if that is the case, you'll have a universal mind. It's a bit like this. If you were a musician and you come up with very, very, very specialist music, very, 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 very personal music, well, then you'll end up selling 2 CDs in your life. And your mother will be the other one who bought it, right? Okay? But if your music is not personal, but more universal, then it will have universal appeal. Mozart, in his letters, described that he didn't try to make his music Mozartish, nor did he aim at any originality. And just to give you an example, I'm just going to compare Mozart to Beethoven. This is how a man on BBC4 did. And I just thought it was a very interesting way he differentiated between Mozart and Beethoven. And whether you agree with the differentiation or not doesn't make any difference. It was just cleverly done. What he said was that Mozart was concerned about how God's music would sound to the people. Beethoven was concerned about how his music would sound to God. So Beethoven thought he was composing. He thought he was the origin of the music rather than a medium for the music. And according to this particular music critic, Mozart simply left himself as a funnel for the music to come through without distorting it in any way. And if you can do that with your mind, then you will become a remarkably wise man or woman, where you get your mind so open, so totally open, that literally knowledge pours through you rather than is distorted by you.